Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. I'm your guy, Boulanger. And up next, man, we're going to be having a conversation about can the Baltimore Ravens save their offseason and the 2023 season. But before we get started with that conversation, let me give you guys a few updates. Number one, I want to thank you guys for just really hanging in there with us, man, as we get started with this new YouTube endeavor. Um, as you guys know, we don't ask for money. We don't ask you to join Patreon because that's not what this is about. We just really enjoy talking ball, specifically Baltimore Ravens football. And so we make this content, man, for free. Um, and so I just want to say I appreciate you guys. I know we're not the best channel out there, but we really believe in what we do. We believe in what we say, and I believe in the content that we release. And so we don't apologize for any of it. I also want to thank you guys for interacting in the comment section. A lot of you are consistently commenting, sharing, Kenneth, Muhammad. Uh, I think there's a James. And so many more. A lot of you guys are consistently commenting, and I really, really appreciate that. I appreciate that interaction. And what we want to do, man, as we go into the month of April, we're going to up our interaction. And I want to hear from you guys more and more. And I'll be telling you about what that looks like as we move into April, but just know it'll be more opportunity to get your voice heard, to get your opinions out there, because the GM really, man, is designed to be um, an interactive channel, not just hearing me talk and my takes, but I want to hear you respond to my takes. I want to hear your takes because a lot of you, man, when I see your comments, man, I'm really amazed because you guys help me think of things a different way, or maybe even point out something that I haven't even noticed. And I'm pretty analytical by nature, so I really, really appreciate that. And even if I didn't call your name out, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna shout you out as we move forward because it's hard to remember names. But I just remember those names because some of those names came through when we first got started, and I've seen them kind of show up consistently, man. And I really, really appreciate that. Man, we got to 238 subscribers real quick. And uh I'm just amazed, man, that we've been able to do that in just a 2 month time period. I didn't expect, to grow, that quickly, although we're definitely not the biggest channel, not even close, or we're not trying to be. We're trying to be the best at what we do, and that's making honest Ravens takes. And it took you guys to just invest in listening to our content. We probably have over 50 videos out of live honest takes about the Baltimore Ravens. And what I'll tell you, man, is I believe that our takes, at least a lot of them, will age well. A lot of our takes will age well. And so I have some coming up today and tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday there will be no live videos. Probably Saturday, Sunday, and Monday there will be no live videos unless I do stress the word unless there's some real news to report. Here's why we're going to go dark and off the internet, at least for the GM, for a couple of days, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe Monday. It's because I don't believe in just reciting news, right? If there is real news and I can get into it and give my honest take, then I'll do that, right? But it doesn't take a lot of thought to just hear a news report or read an article and then just repeat what the article says. And so I don't want to do that to you guys, man. You guys spend 15, 20, 30 minutes to an hour listening to me and our content per week. And I don't want to bore you with something you've already heard or an original take that comes from national sports media. And so I want to give you guys authentic content. And so that's why even when I show you guys a video, we either disagree or agree, but we still break down the video and give you guys our own original take. And so I just want to be able to keep it authentic. We of course we don't have any sponsors. We don't do anything on Patreon, none of that. So we're not slanted or leaning to one side or another. And so as it pertains to the GM, man, let me tell you what you guys can keep expecting. And then I'm gonna point to some things that'll be jumping off in the month of April. What you guys can keep expecting is honesty. what you guys can keep expecting is honest, straightforward content, no fluff. Um, and what you guys can keep expecting is consistency. I don't plan on changing what we do and what we say. I'm not changing how I think, right? So number one, I love the Baltimore Ravens and have from its beginning. Number two, I love Lamar Jackson. And as long as he don't do crazy stuff off the field and get into any trouble, I'll support him no matter where he goes. And those are two things that will remain to be true. So when I speak about Lamar Jackson, it's always going to be from uh, a pro standpoint, meaning I'm pro Lamar Jackson. I want to see him do well, whether he's with the Ravens or he's with another organization. I'm not going to be mad if he goes to another organization. Um, disappointed, but I won't be mad at him because we all have to make decisions that we believe is best for us. And then I'm always going to be talking about the Baltimore Ravens from an honest perspective. I'm going to blast them when they need to be blasted, and I'm gonna ride with them when I can ride with them. But I'm always going to be honest about what we're doing as an organization. And I've been hard on them lately, and I'm going to continue to be hard on them until they start making some decisions and some changes that are going to be beneficial for our sustainability as the Baltimore Ravens. And so right now they're not making decisions that look to be sustainable. Right now we don't have a quarterback under contract, because although Tyler Huntley has been tendered, you know what I'm saying? He's not under contract. He ain't signed nothing. And then Lamar Jackson's franchise tag, but he ain't signed it. So therefore, we don't even have a quarterback right now. So how can I say anything positive right now about how we're doing business? You see what I'm saying? So when I blast them, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest about what they're doing. And then when I can really support them, I'm gonna support them. But I'm always gonna be Ravens first, right? And so when we start win or if we start looking like the Detroit Lions and formerly the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans and those kind of teams, we're in the bottom of the basement. Maybe that may happen. I'm honest, guys, that may happen. I'm still gonna talk about the Baltimore Ravens. And whenever we start getting up, then my commentary will change. But as long as we keep doing silly stuff like we're doing lately, I'm gonna keep blasting. And so that's what you can expect from me. I do have a new project. I have a new YouTube channel that we're working on. Again, it's gonna be still authentic, but the GM ATL. No, that does not stand for Atlanta. It stands for Around the League, and is where we start giving good commentary, honest takes outside of the national perspective around across the whole league. And so when we really get started, we will start 32 days from the NFL draft. Uh, don't get me to making stuff up because I can't remember how that time frame works. But our first team of the 32 of 32 will kick off at the end of next week, and then we'll go all the way one team every day, talking about their off season, their moves, their additions, their subtractions. Are they a riser? Are they a faller? And then we'll also predict who they will pick in the first and second rounds of the 2023 draft. So that's gonna be fun, being able to explore a different team every day. And I will still put Ravens content over there and over here, where this channel is just about the Baltimore Ravens. So we do have some more stuff coming up, and I'll drop, as soon as I get those links together and all those kind of things, I'll drop the information over here so you guys can partake in that if you would like. So listen, that's my updates, man. So yeah, I'll be off line Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, unless there's some real news to report. But I'm not gonna bore you to death with just repeating what everybody else has already repeated. All right. Now, the question I want to ask today and answer is, can the Baltimore Ravens save their off season and the 2023 season? And it's gonna be two parts to this video. This will be part one. The next one will come out, and this one will be with Lamar Jackson. The next one will be without Lamar Jackson. All right. So can the Baltimore Ravens save the 2023 season and off season with Lamar Jackson? Well, the answer I'm gonna give you is yes. I do believe the Baltimore Ravens can save the 2023 season, and if I'm gonna be out front, not just because Lamar Jackson is in-house. Okay. And when I say save the season, I'm talking about being competitive. I'm talking about being a top of the AFC North contender. I'm talking about being a top 4 pick. I'm talking about potentially having Super Bowl opportunity. Now, you guys may say, Leon, you done lost your mind because I've heard what you said about the Ravens and I've heard what you said about their players. Yes, you have, and I meant every word that I said. But I mean what I'm saying right now. I do believe they could save the season with Lamar Jackson in house and potentially have a chance at being the number 1 seed in the division, then a top 4 seed in the conference, of course, if they win the division, and a Super Bowl contender. Now, here's how. Number one, I was looking at the best available players who still remain, although we haven't even got started in the 2023 free agency. And there's a lot of speculation to why. Maybe it's the Lamar Jackson contract, maybe it's the money, so on and so forth. But none of that I'm going to discuss. This conversation is the assumption that Lamar Jackson is going to play for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, of course, we know that seems to be far off right now. But here's how. I was looking at who's available. Okay. Now, I have to take into consideration what we got going on offense. Well, number one, we got a big hole at left guard with the Ben Powers being gone. Okay. Uh, I'm gonna assume that Ben Cleveland can step into that role and play decent until he finds his footing. Okay. Um, so that would rectify or solve um the Ben Powers absence. Ben Cleveland is a big, strong guy. He's like 6'6", 330, 340, and powerful. And so certainly if he can't do anything else, he could run block, but we have not seen that to be the case just yet. But I'm assuming that he's going to be healthy and he can fill that void. Okay, so now let's look at weapons. Okay, we're gonna start offensive first. Okay, at the running back position, we got J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and Justice Hill. All 3 guys we're very, very familiar with. So I do not foresee the Baltimore Ravens doing anything in the draft with a running back. They certainly might grab a couple of running backs for the practice squad, but I do not see them drafting a running back. And so that means J.K. would be running back number 1. Gus Edwards, I think, will take a back seat to J.K. this year under a new OC. And then I think Justice Hill can just play relief for special teams, things of that nature. Okay, so I think the running back group, if healthy, is pretty set. I think the tight end group, I think we should lean on the tight end group a little more this year. Of course, being led by Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely bringing up the rear, and then Charlie Agholor finding his footing this year. All 3 guys have an ability to get downfield and catch the ball. We saw that consistently. When I say consistently, I'm talking about when he played from Isaiah Likely. We know what Mark Andrews is, and Charlie Agholor in the game that he played showed some flashes. So I think our tight end room it's pretty solid, and I would not be surprised if the Baltimore Ravens pick up one of these tight ends in this year's draft because it's a super deep class at tight end. Okay, and now the wide receiver position, which is the most scrutinized position on the Baltimore Ravens roster. So we got Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, and Talon Wallace. Now, do I expect anything out of Prochet and Talon Wallace? I do not. Okay. And the reason why is because I have not seen anything from them up until this point. But I do know they're going to be in a new system, which means they have new route concepts, new ways to get open, uh, new alignments, things of that nature. So that could serve them well. But I'm not expecting anything from them. So that means I'm looking directly at Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay. Okay, if Rashad Bateman is healthy, he has looked like a number 1 or a potential number 1, but I'm not going to bank on him to be a number 1. Okay, I'm definitely not going to bank on Devin Duvernay to be a number 1, but I expect Todd Monken to put them in position to be successful, especially if they're healthy. Okay, so that's about it. All right, so definitely, I think we'll draft a wide receiver in the first round. Don't know who that'll be because I don't know who will be available. Zay Flowers, Josh Downs out of Carolina, either one would be nice. Addison would be fine. Johnson would be fine, but most of these guys are going to already be gone before they get to number 22. So I really don't know who's going to be available, but I do expect them to draft a guy who will probably jump right into that 3rd wide receiver spot on this roster. Okay. Um, even above Devin Duvernay. And so in free agency, who's still available? Well, I really like DJ Chark, not because he's a number one, but he has been. He's 6'3", a little over 200 pounds, and he still has elite speed. Okay. He has a better than 17-yard catch average from last year, although he didn't have a big season and he missed some games. But he still, when he caught the ball, it was for big chunk yards, which is definitely something we need. Okay. So definitely, I think adding him would improve our wide receiver core. I think getting a guy like a Marvin Jones would certainly improve our wide receiver core. Well, why Marvin Jones? He's 33 years old. Well, he's a veteran. He's a team guy. He's a good leader. He doesn't cause any headaches in the locker room. In fact, he's a locker room guy. And so I think that bringing him on to help mentor a young wide receiving group, because you got to think Devin Duvernay doesn't have a lot of experience, even though he's going to his fourth year. Proshan Wallace hasn't really had a real chance, so he can definitely mentor them. And then Bateman, who should be the best of them all, is going into his third year and hasn't completed a year yet. So maybe he can talk to Bateman about training, preparing his body, a workout regimen, all those kind of things could be a positive impact from a Marvin Jones. So Chark and Marvin Jones, because it looks like those guys are just going to hang out there now, because I think everybody's turning their attention towards the 2023 draft. Okay, so both of them. I know they brought in Nelson Agholor. I think he would be a nice slot piece, although he does have some drops, and we're very familiar with drops with Demarcus Robinson. But I think he would be an upgrade over Demarcus Robinson. I've seen some explosiveness from him when he was in Philadelphia, when he was in Vegas, and then also a couple of times in New England Patriots uniform. So I think Nelson Agholor could be beneficial for the Baltimore Ravens. Seems like there's somebody else out there that I was considering. Um, well, I can't think of it, but I know those three could be solid additions. Okay, so if we don't make a trade for a number one, those three additions could serve us well. Plus, adding the rookie in the draft, that would give us some depth at the wide receiver position. Okay, so that's how we could help offensively. All right, new OC, Lamar under center, nice running back room, nice tight end room, and then the wide receiver room with some veteran additions, add some more speed, some more size, and then add a rookie in the draft. And I think on the defensive end, although we lost Calais Campbell, I think one thing that we could do that would help the entire defense is add a corner like Rock Ya-Sin, who is the best cornerback available, and rating him coming into the total offseason, he was the number two cornerback on available this year. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he got good hands, he got good awareness, he got good coverage skills. He's the best man-to-man corner in the whole free agency. So I think if we could grab a guy like him, man, and put him in the defense opposite Marlon Humphrey with Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton, uh, in those safety spots, and then what we already have up front, if we can hold up on the back end just a few seconds longer, that allows that front three, front four, and edge rushers to get to the quarterback. So I think adding him, if we just add him in free agency, I think that makes all the rest of the defense better. Now I know that there is some questions about what's going to happen with Patrick Queen. There's a lot of people speculating that Patrick Queen will be traded. And in a way, I expect Patrick Queen to be traded. But here's an idea that would help us save the offseason and the 2023 season. Okay. Patrick Queen, I think, is super valuable, and he's certainly worth a first round pick. Excuse me, a second round pick. I really, really believe that. Okay. So look at some teams who have veteran guys who've been talked about and being traded. Okay, Mike Evans is probably off the board because they brought Baker Mayfield in. They're certainly not going to remove Mike Evans from being available for Baker Mayfield. Now, does Tampa Bay Buccaneers expect to win Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield? No, but they still want to be competitive. Okay, so I doubt if they're going to trade him. So the only guy that's been talked about repeatedly is going to be DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, now here's a trade that I think could be pulled off and save the season. Send Patrick Queen and a third or fourth round pick to Arizona for DeAndre Hopkins. then all the Baltimore Ravens will have to do, take his contract, uh, give him an extension, meaning take the 2 years he has left, do a 3-year deal, something like 36 million, that bring him down to about 12 million a year. Give him a little more guaranteed money, maybe 3 years, 40 million, because he may want a little more since he is DeAndre Hopkins. But I think that if you're going to lose Patrick Queen, it should not just be for a second round pick. If you could drop down a level in draft compensation for Patrick Queen, but go get a player for him, I think that's the best of both worlds. Send Patrick Queen to Arizona along with a 3rd or 4th round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. I think a 3rd round pick for DeAndre Hopkins with Patrick Queen is a little too high. So if they could pull that off, Patrick Queen and a 4th round pick for DeAndre Hopkins, I think going into that 1st round, watch this. Here's how it benefits us. So now we got DeAndre Hopkins in house. So now you got Bateman, you got Hopkins, you will have Duvernay, you would have I would still try to get Chark, Marvin Jones, or Agholor, because you want to add some depth because you had some injury issues. Now you have a nice wide receiving squad, nice tight end squad, nice running back room, and then you have Lamar under center. That's how you flip a player, not just for a pick, but flip a player for a player. Right? Now, in that 1st round, you take that 1st round pick, you trade down. You pick up a 2nd and maybe another 4th for that 1st round pick. And then you go ahead and you get a young wide receiver if that's what you want, or you go ahead and get a linebacker replacement for Patrick Queen or whatever that's going to look like. And then you allow Harrison to step in, and maybe even bring Kyle Hamilton down into the box a little more until that rookie learns what he's doing in the league. But I think that Patrick Queen trade could certainly move the needle for us if we get rid of him. Trading Patrick Queen just for a 2nd round pick, I don't think it's smart, because his on the field value is more than just a 2nd round pick. So that's my take, man. Those are the things I think the Baltimore Ravens could do in order to save the 2023 offseason and the 2023 season with Lamar Jackson in-house. Okay, those are the things I think. Grab a couple of veteran wide receivers, some guys who are just consistent and steady. Trade Patrick Queen, bring back DeAndre Hopkins, and then we're in business. Because again, if you're gonna trade him, meaning Patrick Queen, get a player back, right? A player and a lower round pick, not just a pick, because you're sending out something that you understand what he is, but you will be bringing in something in a pick that you have no idea how they'll turn out, right? And as of lately, the Baltimore Ravens have not hit on a lot of picks. So that's my take, man. Let me know what you guys want me to know. Again, remember, there is a 2nd part to this video where I'll be talking about, it won't come out until tomorrow probably, but where I'll be talking about how the Baltimore Ravens can save their season without Lamar Jackson. So that means if Lamar Jackson leaves, what can the Baltimore Ravens do to still be competitive? All right. So listen, I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM, and I'm out.